Now I'm going to break down the 5 steps we utilize at SolveX Media to build product pages that convert 286% higher than industry averages. And remember guys, there's a science behind how we curate these pages. So these next 5 steps will break it down step by step, element by element, and scientific principle by principle. What's going on guys? This is Cam from SolveX Media, and in today's video, I'm breaking down the scientific process we utilize at SolveX Media to build $100 million product pages. The science behind how we curate what we curate, the rationale, and most importantly, how you can identify some of the essential elements you need for your website to get that end user to pull out their credit card and purchase, as 73% of the decision-making process is done on the product page and the product page itself. So let's dig into it. Now, when people come to your product page, they are in either one of 5 stages, and we call these the stages of awareness. I use a formula called upside, and I'll break this formula down slightly. Now, dependent on where your audience is, you need to carefully curate the elements that speak to what they want and need to see to take the action you desire. Now, let's get into the formula itself. Now, the 5 stages of awareness are as followed: unaware, problem aware, solution aware, your product aware, and excited and most aware. Now, let's get into it. So phase 1 of awareness is unaware. These are individuals who have no knowledge of the problem or no perceived need of the solution you're offering. To blitz through the noise, you need to utilize entertainment. How do you utilize entertainment? We've seen qualitative facts and most importantly, quantitative facts ultimately get people to stop and say, maybe I am struggling with X. Maybe I do need to look into this. One example is for this company, they're in the male enhancement space and they were basically selling erectile dysfunction pills. We're like, let's add some quantitative metrics. 78% of men suffer with ED in the US. Obviously that's an extreme, but the whole point here is we have basically gotten people to stop and say, maybe I'm a part of that big percentile, and now these individuals will move to the next phase. The next phase is problem aware. These individuals basically sense that he or she has a problem, but they're unaware of what the best solution to that problem is. What they need to do, or what you need to do, is to provide them with hope and say, look, we understand this problem. We understand what you're going through, right? And it's not ultimately selling your solution, but selling them on the overall solution. That there is a way from where you're currently at, which is a point of dissatisfaction, stress, anxiety, pain, to a point where your life could be relieved of all that anxiety and pain. This brings me to phase 3, which is solution aware. Now, these individuals are aware that, hey, there are solutions available, but now it's a question of, if I want to get from a point of dissatisfaction to satisfaction, I want to go with the best route that's going to take me there, right? And there's only going to be one individual they go with, one brand, one company, one product. And what they need is clarity. And what we've seen in terms of product pages that are very effective is product pages that utilize comparison charts, where it's like us versus all the other solutions, or adding guarantees that are linked to that big promise that you're making, right? And if you can give them all the clarity they need to say, hey, you don't need to shop around, we've done the homework for you, now they're your product aware. They know about your product, but they're still unsure whether or not it's right for them. This is where assurance comes into place. Your unique selling proposition. What sets you apart? Why are you guys the most viable solution to the problem they're facing? Right? You need to de-risk that purchase for them. And this will ultimately get them to a point where they're excited and most aware. They know about your product, but now they need a reason to buy your product. This is where we see novelty play to your advantage, where we're basically like, look, act today, we're gonna give you guys a killer offer. Buy one, get another one free. Buy one today, and if you don't get X promise within 30 days, we'll give you all your money back. They need to see something that they haven't seen before, because everyone today is being sold to, and most products are commoditized. So you need to find that element of novelty that's gonna get people to say, okay, let me look into this a little more. And at this phase, if you've done just that, they're gonna buy from you. So now that you understand how to segment your audiences and demonstrate what they need to see and hear to get to that next phase and purchase your products as opposed to your competitor's product, it's important to understand how you can curate the best product page suitable for your business and your business only. Now, before I actually get into the process we utilize at SolveX Media to build product pages that convert like crazy, again guys, our sites convert 286% higher than industry averages. It is important to note that within any product page, If you don't have these 5 essential questions answered, you're at a severe disadvantage. Full disclaimer, if you fail to answer these questions, you're likely to see a 66% decrease in your conversion rate. So you're literally signing up to fail. So question 1 is, what is your product? Question 2, why do you exist? Question 3, how does this benefit my life? That's the end user's life. Question 4, why is this the best option for this particular product? Because your product is more than likely commoditized. And question 5, how soon can I get if I order today? Now I'm going to break down the 5 steps we utilize at Solvex Media to build product pages that convert 286% higher than industry averages. And remember guys, there's a science behind how we curate these pages. So these next 5 steps will break it down step by step, element by element, and scientific principle by principle. So first, you need to select from 3 different types of product offer pages. We got traditional product pages, we got long form product pages, and then we got sales product pages. And I'll briefly explain what each of these mean before we carry on. Now, the first layout you can select from is traditional pages. Now, traditional pages are suitable for brands that show heavy product. They have a strong image focus. They have a strong pre-sale before you actually get to that product page. So it's usually through a landing page like an advertorial or a listicle, which you guys can learn more about in my other video. There's not much to say about the product outside of what it is. So these are usually for brands and companies that are selling products that are ultimately commoditized, like let's say a mug, let's say a plain t-shirt. It's very hard for you to differentiate. So because of that, these are pages that usually focus on repeat purchases, right? Like Walmart's, right? They don't usually have a lot of descriptions. If you go on Walmart.com right now, when it comes to their product, you usually know what the product is and you're just shopping around based off price. So you just want to briefly understand what the product is. They don't do much selling. And that is why this, again, is most suitable for low ticket products where the decision-making process doesn't require a lot of logical reasoning. It's more so on the emotional side. And low ticket usually does sway towards impulse purchase. So the second type of layout you can select from is long form product pages. Long form product pages, the typical use case is when there's a direct response marketer in charge. You got a great copywriter on your team that understands the ins and outs of the product, the ins and outs of your audience, the ins and outs of the industry as a whole. It's a lifestyle and story-based product. It's a demoable product, meaning this is like sort of like an infomercial where you have someone that's just like selling this product for 20-30 minutes, getting people super excited, and at the end they have a killer offer, making it almost irresistible to say no. Usually when there's education required, these pages work well because, again, it gives you a lot of real estate to continuously hit on some of the points people need to see and hear about before they get to that point where they're like, okay, this is a solution to my problem. And we've seen it work best for high ticket products that are over $100 when it comes to the AOV. So those are the typical use cases. Now moving on to the third layout you can select from, this is what we call a sales product page. And what a sales product page is basically a website that's centered around just one product and one product only. Meaning, if you have multiple products, this is a page that will not work for you. But if you have one product, you can have a homepage, product page, about us page, contact page that is all centered around this one product. And we've seen it be very, very effective when it comes to conversion rates. Now you're probably wondering if there's a perfect layout for your product page, and the answer is no. So the criteria I like to follow is, look, is there a lot to say about your product? If the answer is no, then go with the traditional page, because that is usually for products that are commoditized, as mentioned earlier, low ticket. Let's say a shoe. It's very hard to differentiate a shoe. Give the description, have the buy box up there, let people decide. You don't need to do too much selling. If there is a lot of information, the average order value is high, you have a lot to say about your product, we would go with a sales page or a long form product page. Now that we've assessed all 3 layouts you can utilize for your product pages, 1 traditional, 2 long form, and 3 sales page, you're probably wondering which one is best for your business. Now, believe it or not, it actually doesn't matter. To make all of this work, it really just comes down to one set of deliverables, and that is conversion assets. The conversion asset concept theory basically says your product page is simply a collection of conversion assets working in concert with one another to support you in your goal, which is a conversion, and the prospect's goal, which is a solution to their problem. It doesn't matter because all conversion assets are the same. Now, when we look at conversion assets, we break it down into 4 sections, okay? Section 1 is the header, section 2 is the carousel, section 3 is the buy box, and section 4 is the stacked conversion support content. Now that you've decided on the product page layout, which was step 1, step 2, 3, 4, and 5 are about optimizing each of those essential elements that a high converting product page consists of. And I just mentioned them earlier: your header, your carousel, your buy box, and your stacked conversion support content. Step 2, optimize your header. The goal of a header is very, very simple. It's to keep it slender. 10% on mobile in terms of total real estate, 20% on desktop tops. You need to make sure you have access to the shopping cart at a click of a button, so utilize shopping cart icons. Make sure the call to action is in the header. Make sure you have your brand logo in the header, because that's usually how people associate getting back to the homepage. And make sure you use a sticky header that sort of follows through while people scroll. The whole point of this section is to make sure it does not get in the way. Step 3, optimize your buy box. This is a very essential element when it comes to conversions, and the reason for that is the above the fold section is the most important section on any product page, and that is because the end user will decide whether or not they want to allocate their time and energy to what you got going on and continue to consume past the above the fold section based off what you present in this very section. So in this section, we like to basically overcome any final objections. We like to have a cross-sell, upsell, a great offer that gets people excited, speaks their lingo. We want to make sure we're getting people to click that add to cart button. We want to facilitate that next step. That call to action always needs to be above the fold section. So if it's below, people are going to be confused. You need to guide the end user to that next step. We've seen that quantity selectors and variants that are easy to engage with definitely outperform drop downs. So use buttons. Buttons always outperform drop downs, as you can see in this example. Now, below the call to action, utilizing USPs and guarantees is huge. You want to de-risk people taking that next step. Javi Coffee does a great example of this. As you can see, express Canadian shipping and 30-day money-back guarantee. Now I'm a little less hesitant to clicking on that button. And use the isolation effect on your CTAs. Super powerful, which is just the concept of using contrasting colors for buttons. So this way, the end user can indicate, hey, this color is going to get me to taking that next step. You never want a confused individual when it comes to them taking a high intent activity. And the most important element of the buy box section is the ownership benefit as a testimonial. And what the ownership benefit is basically us writing a testimonial or utilizing a client testimonial that is a result of owning this product. So you will get, have, obtain, become, feel, be perceived, look like X if you utilize our product. And this is contrary to what everyone's doing. Everyone just has a product title, right? Blue t-shirt, for example. Like, what does that mean? The end user is already aware that they're going to be looking at this product. So why re-emphasize the product title when you can utilize that very, very valuable real estate with a testimonial that indicates that big aha they're going to get if they utilize your product? Now, the reason why we emphasize utilizing an ownership benefit testimonial as opposed to a regular product title is time in, time out. Across 125 tests, we've seen an ownership benefit testimonial outperform a regular product title. In this one instance, we've seen the average revenue per user increase from $27.51 to $28.76 at an 83% confidence. And listen in here, the conversion rate increased by 5.25% at a 94% confidence. Always outperforming the control throughout the entire test. Let's look at step 3, which is optimizing your carousel. This is the photo gallery. In this section, you want to show off the product. You want to demonstrate the ownership benefit we made in the prior section. You want to make sure the images load super fast, so making sure your images are optimized. You want to have at least 8 different looks. We've split tested this, guys. You want to make sure you build desire for your products, and you want to showcase these products through videos and GIFs as well. So don't just rely on product images. Now, the reason why optimizing your carousel section is so damn important is 93% of consumers today consider images essential to their purchasing decision. 90% of information transmitted to our brain is visual. And most importantly, your images represent your product's perceived value and quality. And if you don't build that value, they're never going to be able to justify the price. So there's 2 types of product images we've seen work best. One is pure product on white, 2 is context and lifestyle. You need both. And pure product is basically a product only, usually on white in a variety of different angles. And then in context and lifestyle images are photos that show your product actually being used in its intended environment. Now, step 5 of how to build a product page that converts like crazy: optimize your stacked conversion support content. What these elements basically consist of are elements that get the end user super excited. This is your opportunity to sell. This is your opportunity to demonstrate credibility. This is your opportunity to speak to different audiences. This is your opportunity to overcome objections, and this is your opportunity to build desire. Now, we've seen the number one way to get your stacked conversion support content to really work is to write sales copy that converts like crazy. And let me explain how this is done. Now, sales copy in itself is copy that explains what the product is and why it's worth purchasing. The goal is to simply explain the features and benefits of the product so the end user is compelled to buy. Now, when it comes to copy structure, we've seen time and time again, people do not take the time to read. They only skim through your copy, meaning what you need to do is 1, use benefit-based bullet points. 2, do not write paragraphs. No one's reading any of that. And 3, keep your sentences short and sweet, concise, to the point. Scannability is everything. Headlines, bullets. Headlines, bullets. Now, when it comes to how you write your messaging, focus on your ideal buyer. Write it as if you were talking to someone. It's one-to-one. This is your opportunity to literally sit across your ideal audience and say, this is why you should buy our product. Now, how you can do that is by answering these questions. Who is this for? What are the basic product details? When would someone use this product? Why is it useful or better than all the other products in the marketplace? How does this product work? Is there any industry-specific lingo buyers are using? What is it? What are the benefits? Is there any science, proof, or uniqueness to this product? Are there any key ingredients or materials that I need to know about? When you focus on the features, focus on the benefits, and when you can do that, that is when people are going to be receptive to your message. Another way to make your messaging really stand out is to use what we call sensory descriptors. This is where you basically use smell, sound, feel, and taste with analogies. So basically saying, utilizing this product is going to smell like a bouquet of roses. I don't even know if roses smell good. Or if you utilize this product, it's going to sound like, your alarm going off at 3 a.m. I don't know. It really just depends on what your big promise is when it comes to this product and how you can create analogies by utilizing some of the other sensory sources that we have to better help one visualize how this product is going to look when they utilize it. So in short, guys, to build product pages that convert like crazy, all you need is conversion assets. It's as simple as that. Now, another essential element when it comes to how you craft your support conversion elements is by utilizing USPs and creating images that support that big promise you're making. So for example, what Miracle does is they're saying, what Miracle sells is sheets and usually towels. So they say the benefits of their silver infused fabrics are as follows. 1, up to 3% less or 3 times less laundry, fewer odors, and better for your skin. And then they have the subtext that reconfirms those promises. Great way to really build your conversion assets. Another way we've seen companies really build their stacked conversion support assets is through social proof. Now, social proof is, in short, a quote plus a source plus a logo. So I'll explain. There are 3 types of social proof that you can utilize on your product pages. 1 is customer reviews, 2 is established sources, and 3 is UGC content, user-generated content. So phase 1, which is customer reviews, your product page is obviously going to tell people you're the best product in the world or the best option to solve the problem someone is experiencing. But what's better than you saying it? Your existing customer saying it on your behalf. When we put reviews on your product page, we look at reviews that specifically call out how someone's life has benefited from that product. The second type of social proof is established sources. I put this in quotes because established means different things to different people. Normally it's just the press logo, but it depends really who you're selling to again. If you're selling to an older demographic, you might use like a news source like CNBC, Forbes, Town and Country, New York Times, places where older demographics get their news from and have built-in trust. The whole idea is to play on the trust that someone else has with that source. If you're selling to a younger demographic, you might as well use places like Pop Sugar, Well Plus, Good, Refinery 29, Complex, GQ. And if you're selling to even younger audiences, you might replace press logos with YouTube channel influencers, comments screenshotted from your social media, and etc. Depending on who you're talking to, make those sources of the content relevant to them. Now, the third type of social proof, my personal favorite, user-generated content. We've seen this is the best way to establish trust, 1, and 2, actually demonstrate the product. So it's sort of like a video format of you selling, But this is not the regular UGC you guys have envisioned, where you guys go out and hire an individual. I'm talking about Instagram stories that your clientele is posting. I'm talking about screenshots from what people are saying about your products. That is the authentic stuff that people really want to see, because UGC videos, people can sniff the ones that you actually buy from a mile away. Now, we can't move on from your stacked conversion support assets without talking about guarantees. This is an essential element that every product page definitely needs, because the number one reason why people don't buy is risk. And the number one reason how you can de-risk a purchase is through a guarantee. You either burden higher customer acquisition costs, or you take that small risk of someone potentially returning the product. So common guarantees are money-back guarantees, satisfaction guarantees, lifetime warranties, happiness guarantees, buyback, and lowest price. Again, you will always see your customer acquisition costs reduce radically, and the net value of a customer will increase astronomically, because only a small percentage of people will only request for you to honor that guarantee. So remember, if you're not going to make a guarantee, your competition is, so make a guarantee. So in short, guys, to build a product page that converts like crazy, you need conversion assets. And what conversion assets are a piece of media. It could be a text, image, video that supports your prospect in making a buying decision. Common conversion assets include images, sales videos, testimonials, unique selling proposition, images, sales copy, and there's a lot more. There you have it, guys. Those are the 5 steps we utilize to build product pages that convert like crazy. Step 1, product page layout. Identify the layout that works best for you. Now, everything that goes into this layout, also known as your conversion assets, is step 2, 3, 4, and 5. So step 2, optimize your header. Step 3, optimize your buy box. Step 4, optimize your carousel. And step 5, optimize your stack conversion support assets. And that in itself will build you a product page that outbeats competition left and right. To conclude, stop the leaks. Again, the product page is essential when it comes to the buying decision. These are basic customer journey optimizations that are enough to double your revenue from the same amount of traffic. If you take anything away from this video, you don't need to be better at traffic, but you do need to be better at revenue optimization. And the product page is an essential element that needs revenue optimization. Revenue optimization, again, guys, is about generating more profit with less guessing. And hopefully in today's video, these 5 steps remove the guesswork in building product pages that convert like crazy. Now, if you're still lost and you think you need our help, you need Cam, Solvex Media's support when it comes to building a product page that converts like crazy, feel free to reach out to me directly, and I can see how we could be of value. We can look at what you got going on and potentially give you some tips and pointers that can lead you towards the right direction. That is it for me, guys. This is Cam from Solvex Media. I appreciate you listening in today's video of how we build product pages worth 100 mil plus.